One more question, I think.
Thank you. Hi. Hi. So I want to apologize in advance for this question because it's a little politically self-centered, but I've read some of your book and the interview and story in the New York Times and was incredibly excited to come and hear you, and it's been amazing. But in a sort of larger way, I wonder, I'm on the city council here in West Hollywood, and I read these histories of LGBT, the history of LGBT politics in the last century, and often West Hollywood is less than a footnote. And I would love a sort of critical review from the outside, because from the inside it appears as if our city has tried.
I wrote a whole book called Gay LA with a wonderful historian who has since had a stroke and is incapacitated, Stuart Timmons. That came out in 2006, and West Hollywood is at least a quarter of that book. And I didn't want to repeat myself here, so I do deal with some things that happened in West Hollywood, but I don't focus on West Hollywood as we did in Gay LA.
So with that, is the sort of national view or the larger view? And here's what I'm afraid you're going to say, so maybe I'll say it, then you don't have to. It's that we really are sort of the shiny hair dryer blown version of gay politics, and in fact we don't have a seriousness that we all think we do as we do our daily work.
No, I tried to present Los Angeles in a very serious way. I talk at length, for instance, about MECLA, which was the Municipal Elections Committee of Los Angeles, which was really a very savvy lesbian and gay group that formed in the 1970s and really virtually started the whole idea of getting into politics, of getting gays and lesbians political clout. So I talk at length about that. I talk about how important Los Angeles was in organizing representation for the International Women's Year that was funded by Congress. I talk about California in various ways. Of course, in Los Angeles, Harry Hayes started Mattachine, which was the first ongoing homophile organization, homosexual organization in 1950. And so I keep returning to LA. What I very much wanted to do in the book was have geographical diversity. And so I begin with a story that took place in Missouri, at the University of Missouri. I talk at length about things that happened in Washington State, their wonderful plan for finally getting same-sex marriage through these incremental steps, like with death and dying partnerships, and then a domestic partnership that gave a quarter of all the rights that straight people have, and then an everything but marriage domestic partnership, and then the marriage, the right to marry. So I look all over the country. I talk at length about what happened in Houston, a number of important things. I talk at length about what happened in Florida, not only with Anita Bryant, but a witch hunting committee in Florida in the 1960s, a committee that wanted to kick homosexuals out of not only the universities, but out of teaching in the secondary and primary schools. So to answer your question, I do have a lot about Los Angeles in the book, but I also wanted to focus on other areas of the United States. And so I hope I didn't give any area more attention than other areas, but the book is geographically diverse. But if you're interested in the history of West Hollywood, I would recommend the book that Stuart Timmons and I did, and that's Gay LA.
Actually, I would recommend BKLA too, because even when you're somebody like me who has studied that history, you're blown away by how much started in Southern California. First temple, the first churches, many, many things.